I'm here to actually oppose both bills that the gentleman here just before. That's the House Bill 6211 and Senate Bill 432. I have personal interest in this. I actually am a union sheet metal worker. I've lived on both sides. I was non-union from 1989 till 1996. I told the story a little earlier, but after 7 years, I was introduced to the union. I did work on prevailing wage jobs. In fact, we worked on this very here building, 79 Elm Street, back in the early 90s. And after I tried to organize that non-union shop to union, we lost 18-4 in a vote, and I was immediately dismissed. They fired me basically, and gave me my pension that I had earned over the course of 8 years working for this non-union company, and they didn't want ties with me. That amount was $1,600 after 8 years. Now, the problem with raising this prevailing rate is going to allow people who are bad operators to still continue to steal from workers. There's only a 2-year limit when you can go after an employer. Now, I was intimidated. I'm not going to keep calling the labor board on my employer. I want to keep my job. So I never really got any of those checks. There's some folks that ended up in lawsuits getting money. This particular person was sued about 4 times to get money back that the state had intended. When this prevailing rate is set, the state is wanting to know when you're paying your workers, we want to know that the workers are going to be able to retire with this money. Workers are going to be able to feed their families with this money. And that's what that benchmark's for. I wanted to comment on a few things from earlier. I know there's folks and town managers from small towns that come in and they're talking about their ability to pay a certain wage. But if those folks are coming and they're making a wage that doesn't even allow them to live in that town that they're working in, where are those workers living? What kind of assistance are they getting from Connecticut? I mean, if they're going to their town, and one mentioned, which is an unbelievable number, that it was a $100,000 job, and then the union got involved or the prevailing wage applied, and it became a $232,000 job. That concerns me because what were they going to plan on paying those people before? If the labor drove it that much higher, were they going to pay people $5 an hour to run this pipe or $6 an hour? You see, the state in towns, we can't be like a Walmart. We have to, if we hire somebody, we have to know that the money is going to be able to supply those people with a job that's not going to require them to come back to us and ask for rental assistance, heat assistance, oil assistance. That's the difference between what's happening here. I hear over and over that folks are leaving the state. You know, the state just we're taxed too high with this, and that's why all these young folks are leaving. I can tell you from experience. I coach baseball, basketball, and wrestling. These kids that are going to Florida, what we're doing by driving down wages and driving down the worker, like we're doing a great job of it nowadays. It seems like the worker loses year after year. They're leaving because if you want to get in a weather contest with Florida, they're going to win. If you can be poor in Florida or poor in Connecticut and you're 18 years old, you're leaving. So we have to remember when we're pushing down these good paying jobs that if you want people to stay here, we need to maintain these jobs here. And that's what this bill will actually encourage not to happen. You know, up to $1 million. I'm a general manager now of a sheet metal company. I bid against non-union folks every single day. They have the advantage. All they do is look in the union book and they say, hey, the sheet metal workers got a raise again. It's $1.25. And although 60 cents of that will go to our benefits and maybe this other 60 cents will go in our pocket for the year, those other companies only have to figure out how many hours it takes to do the work. They bid the job right under our level. If ours is like $70 an hour, remember that's your benefits, that's your health insurance, your retirement, everything. They'll bid down at $62 an hour. They'll pay their employees $12 an hour. Who's losing here? And that's what it all comes down to. That person that's making $10 an hour is going to one day be on the system, and that's what I was worried about too. Let's see. When I did leave the company that I left, there were 20 folks that voted no for the union. 4 of us went to the union. I have 20 years in the union now today. I have 16 pension credits, which is not exorbitant. 16 pension credits for me means if I was retired right now, I would get about $1,280 if I retired today. We're not making millionaires in our unions. But the folks that stayed behind, and continued to get robbed by the non-union contractor that basically had him do this building, LOB. Those folks don't have retirements. They've been there for 30 years and then the company closed. They will come to the state when it's time and they have no retirement, no pension. We will be dealing with those folks. So we got to remember, you know, where do you want the money to go? I say put it in the people. That's where I always believed it should go, and that's why I'm here today trying to fight against these two bills in particular.